Well, I wanted to see what you thought of some of the other news and notes that have been happening in wrestling. MJF is back. How
Yeah.
excited are you to have him back on the AEW brand?
Well, he's a player. He's a main player. There's no doubt about it, and he keeps people on their toes. He's got a great mind for wrestling and the drama, the dramatics, and so forth. Talented guy, and apparently he. I don't know this to be a fact, but it seemed like he was kind of fishing to see if he's going to get an offer from WWE, and apparently that didn't materialize. And maybe it wasn't time. I don't know, but you can't overstate his value. He's a very valuable asset to what is going on. Smart guy. In some ways, Connie, he reminds me of Paul Heyman in the younger days.
Really?
Yeah, really, really smart. Very perceptive. Understands kind of what's going on, and he's an asset. He's young. He's got that youth, which you can't replace. So I'm excited that he's back, and I guess he's healthy. He seems to be healthy. I know he had some shoulder issue or something. Uh, he sent me a text the other day to hope I got better quick, which I appreciated. That's the great thing about being sick, I guess. If there's any great thing about being ill, is that you find out who comes out of the woodwork to give you a little bit of support. And a lot of the younger guys appreciate my work, and they realize how important the role of the narrator, the announcer, the voice is of the entity, no matter what company you're with. So he's a valuable asset. It's going to be interesting to see what direction he goes, how far he goes, and all that. He's never boring. He's always got something going on, and that's why I think he's got a little Paul Heyman in him. Is that he understands the game, and it is a game, and he's learned how to play the game very well.
Well, we'll see what's next in the game for Ricochet. The rumor and innuendo is that his contract is up, and we saw him, in theory, make his last appearance for WWE on Monday Night Raw. As you and I are recording, it's Wednesday morning, so folks are listening to this on a Thursday morning. Would you be surprised to see Ricochet in AEW?
Well, not really, but I don't know how much difference he makes. It depends on how he's brought in and how he's presented, how he's positioned. He's a talented kid. There's no doubt about that. I've met with him before, and I like him. Uh, he's very spot heavy. I'd like to see him be able to be a little bit more fundamentally sound. But he's a very talented athletic kid. So who knows? But it seems to me to be kind of obvious that the AEW brand would be where he might migrate to. It's regular work. I don't understand. It seems to me like, Connie, I don't know what you think about this, but the fact that guys can work essentially 1 or 2 days a week,
Yeah,
and still make a good living and work with quality guys. That's the great thing too that we don't talk enough about in AEW is that Tony Khan has assembled an amazing roster. It's pretty terrific, quite frankly. And I like the fact that they got that rolling, and we again, you see how good these guys and gals are when they on these big events. They turn it on. They're young, they're competitive, they all want to be a star, and I think that's a great attitude. So, but Ricochet can add something to the mix if he's brought in the right way and he makes his impact, so forth. So we'll see how it works out. But he's a good kid. It seems to me like a very good kid, and he's sure as hell talented. Now he's dating the ring announcer, right?
I think they might be engaged or perhaps even married. But yes, Samantha
Great.
Irvin from WWE, who's done a fantastic job. She is with Ricochet in real life, and I don't know what happened as you're listening to this last night on Dynamite, but I did find it interesting that Will Osprey, a guy who's got history with Ricochet, was wrestling Ray Phoenix, another guy who had history with Ricochet. So hopefully something fun happened last night, or something fun will happen with those cats in the future. We'll have to stay tuned for all that. A lot of people were kind of shocked and surprised to see that Will Osprey is already getting his title shot against Swerve Strickland, who's been on a tear since he became the AEW champion. That's going to be the main event at Forbidden Door. What do you think of that matchup? Swerve,
Excuse me. It should be good, Connie. No, there's no reason it shouldn't be good. Both guys are young and hungry. I think they're more concerned about having great matches than they are their own ego. I think that's cool. But Osprey and Swerve they'll have a hell of a contest. And Swerve is a unique talent. He's a good choice to be the champion. He's a tough physical guy. I like that about him. He's trying to be a great champion, which I think he's beginning to succeed in that regard. So, but Osprey's a piece of work, man. He's about as good as there is in a square circle these days, no matter where you look. So Tony Khan has put together a great roster. If you watch a AEW pay-per-view, it's hard to find a bad match. They just don't happen very often. And I think that is attributed to the overall talent and just the general feel. Nobody wants to go out there and suck. Everybody wants to steal the show as the best they can. And I'm always intrigued by the card and the order of the card, who's on first, so to speak. I think that's really important. And so anyway, the Forbidden Door is something I'm looking forward to. Now, where is that going to be?
New York.
New York, yeah. Oh, that's a nice airplane trip. So it's all good though. I mean, I have to come to the understanding that I'm not 30, and I got a role, and my role is what it is. My role is to call some of these pay-per-view matches and enjoy. Try to add to them. Try to make them more passable, more meaningful. And on an AEW pay-per-view like Forbidden Door, you don't have to worry about that. The guys and gals are going to come out and bust their ass and try to steal the show, as the old expression goes. And that may be too literal, but nonetheless, I dig what we're trying to do. And the TV shows have been unique and solid. So we'll kind of play that by ear, but I think I haven't seen us have a bad pay-per-view yet, or at least not recently. That's for sure.